Alright guys, today's video is on greatest common factors, and you just did an explore activity in class, and I hope it made sense. I'm just going to breeze through these, but if I were you guys, I would pause the video right now and try to write down what the GCF is for each one of these, but I'm going to do it real quick since this is what you did in class. So 8 and 6, the GCF is 2. 8x and 6x, the GCF is 2x. 8x squared and 6x is actually still 2x. 8x and 6 is just 2. And for these, let's see, if it's an 8 and an 8, it's an 8. They both have 1x and they both have 1y. Okay, but now the big part, actually factoring the GCF out. So just a reminder, we know how to distribute. So when you distribute, you multiply. 3x times 1x is 3x squared plus 3x times 4 is 12x. And remember, when you multiply, you add the exponents, and that's where that 2 came from. Now, today we're going to learn how to go backwards. If you start with this, how do you end up with this? Okay, and here's what it is. This is just the GCF. Okay, so if you look at these two numbers and you find the GCF, then that comes on the outside of the parenthesis. And then instead of multiplying to get the answer, we're going to be dividing to get the factor. So 3x squared divided by 3x is 1. Now, when you divide, you subtract the powers. So 1x. And then plus 12x divided by 3x is 4. And when you subtract the powers, you get 0. And that's why there's no x. So do you guys see how this gets you here by distributing? And this gets you here by factoring out the common factor. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing today, dividing out the GCF. Okay, so number 1, what is the GCF of 3x and 6? And I hope you guys would have said 3. And then we draw a parenthesis, and now we actually just divide it out of both. So 3x divided by 3 is 1x, and then 6 divided by 3 is 2. So that's the answer. Okay, but that was an easy one. All right, number 2. Now, side note, whenever the first one is negative, you always divide out a negative. Okay, whenever, it's only the first one. Whenever the first one's negative, you always take out a negative with the GCF. Okay, so out of 3x squared and 6x, the GCF is negative 3x. All right, now let's divide it out. Negative 3x squared divided by negative 3x is 1x. And then positive 6x divided by negative 3 is negative 2, and there is no x because 1 minus 1 is 0. So that's the answer. All right, let's try 3. GCF of these 3 terms is a 3. Reason I didn't pull an x out is because they don't all have one. Okay, so just a 3. And now just divide every term by 3. 3x cubed divided by 3 is 1x cubed. 6x divided by 3 is plus 2x. And then 9 divided by 3 is 3. So that's the answer. I'm just going to underline that. Okay, number 4. Let's keep going. So number 4, the leading term is negative, so we always pull out a negative. What is the GCF of these two parts here? So 7 and 14, we can pull out a 7. And how many x's? Well, this one has 3, and this one has 2, so we can only pull out the smaller amount, which is 2. All right, let's divide it out. -7 divided by -7 is 1, and there's 1x left. -14 divided by -7 is +2, and there's no x's left. Remember, when you divide, you subtract. All right, let's keep going. Number 5. What is the GCF of these two terms here? So out of 2 and 4, the greatest common factor is 2. Out of the x's, we can only pull 1 out, but out of the y's, we can take 2 out. You can only take the smaller amount of each variable power. All right, let's divide it out. 2 divided by 2 is 1. We have 2 minus 1. We have 1x left. 3 minus 2, we have 1y left. Plus 4 divided by 2 is 2. We have no x's left and no y's, because when you divide, you subtract, and then they're gone. Okay, one more, guys. Let's just finish it off. So what is the GCF of these 3 terms? So 4, 6, and 2, the GCF is a 2. And then out of 3 x's and 2 x's and 1x, we can only pull 1x out. All right, let's divide it out. 4 divided by 2 is 2. And 3 minus 1 would be 2 x's left. Minus 6 divided by 2 is 3. And then 2 minus 1 would be 1x left. And then plus 2 divided by 2 is 1. And there would be no x's left. All right, guys, so that's called factoring out the GCF. Thanks for watching.